The Three Girls with the Red Doll Triptych is a limited edition of 100 hand-stenciled canvas banners. It's 1.3 meters or 50 inches in length. It's designed for ease of shipping and for accessibility and hanging up immediately. And as part of a larger project I began back in 2018, Disrupted Bloodlines, the 60% Triptych project, which is my artistic response to the Canadian Truth and Reconciliation Commission finding of the 60% mortality rate of Indigenous children who were forced by the Canadian Dominion government into Indian residential schools. Some of the schools carrying out nutrition experiments on malnourished Native children with the federal government's approval and financial support. We Indigenous people, we are people of stories. Stories define us, stories teach us and protect us. Legends and myths are metaphors conveying greater truths and reaching across generations and become and are part of who we are, part of our collective lived narrative and worldview. The still unfolding story of Native residential industrial schools is a story of disrupted bloodlines, loss and hope. It is a story of angst and resilience. Still a contemporary story of revival and resurgence, a present-day epic of return. Three Girls with a Red Doll is part of that story and part of that return. Before we go, give thanks. So I brought a tobacco tie. To the degree possible, I use natural and organic materials in my art, whether that be making your own charcoal or making your own brushes, or as you see here, using wasp nest and birch bark in a painting. I prepped the canvas I used by first soaking in a rainwater barrel and putting it out in the sun. And the reason for this is that when you apply anything wet to a new canvas, it'll contract, anything wet like paint, but I use stain first on the canvas. The stain I use, I get custom mixed at Home Hardware. I use stain instead of paint because stain is less viscous, less thick and gooey, so it stains into and through the canvas and gives me this beautiful texture on the back that I really like. The next step involves sewing two hems, one at the top for insertion of the hanging stick with the keyholes on the end, and the other all around the edges, indented slightly to allow it to naturally fray, representing the fraying and tattering of the individual lives and also their communities. Each of the 100 banners comes ready to hang out of its canvas bag. One merely inserts the red stick in the top pocket, then attaches the included red ribbon to each of the keyholes on the end. Additional images may be painted on the red stick. Each of the 100 banners is distinctive, which is one of the reasons they are each done by hand. 3 Native American Indigenous girls dressed in Indian residential industrial school uniforms. Various layers purposely misaligned, signifying the disruption not only of bloodlines, families, and communities, but like the children, even the images are traumatized, disfigured, scarred, diminished. What are the color choices? Red, a spirit color, turquoise for prayer, crimson for blood, and black for earth. Why are there only 3 girls, not 4? Symbolizing completeness and permanent transformation of the individuals, their families, and the communities as a result of the government Indian residential schools. That's why there are only 3. I'm only doing 100 because this is an artistic visual response to the situation. It's not a product creation thing or expanding a product line, as it were. Out of respect, I think there's a lot of nuance to responding, not merely reacting to trauma, be it individual or collective. So I'm doing 100, numbering and signing them each and shipping them out as required now to the West Coast, the southern states, and overseas. With each banner, I include this 4-page full-color booklet, which sets out what the banner is about, and a lot of the information that you see in this video has the number of the banner, and also it is signed and embossed. These are the bookmarks I sent with the first 10 banners that were acquired, and they are made from the material used to make the banners themselves. Student on the front, and on the back various motifs and images. Inside the box I shipped the banner in is the small canvas bag. Inside is the red ribbon, the banner, an insert stick, and the bookmark, and I put people's name on it, and this 4-page color booklet also, of course. And usually I include art cards of some of my previous art or whatever I'm working on at the time. Gotcha!